Give us 2 seconds, guys, and then we'll get straight to it. Alright, perfect. I'll be fine for now. I'm just getting the links out and then we can get straight into it. Okay. Okay. Da, 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 da. All right, perfect. Okay. Right. TA. So, those that are just joining us, welcome to the live stream. Okay, it is officially the last day of the trading week, so it is Friday. Yeah, we're seeing some price movement. Okay, prices obviously shot up, went to that level of resistance that we spoke about, and we have been speaking about for quite a while now. And last night it started to sell off, and things are looking weak now. Again, in the last couple of updates that we've sent out, right, we have been talking about the bull trap. Okay, and it does look like we're starting to see some of that happening here. Okay, so obviously we pushed past the previous high over here, went perfectly right up into that zone. Now that zone is this structure here. Okay. Now let's take everything off. Let's start just nice and fresh, so we can get a nice picture as to what's happening. Um, Superpower Squad, check this coin. I'll have a little look at it in just a second, my man. Yeah, so previous structure over here, right? So support breaks through, comes and retests as new resistance, and then we start ranging. Okay, this is a much larger range that we're kind of playing within now. Okay, so this is the very top, and it's come up and it's tested, and now we're actually starting to see a little bit more sell side here. We could very much start to come back down, okay, at this point. Now, there's a few areas in terms of support that we could be looking at, okay, so obviously we came down, tested this previous structure acting as resistance into new support, and then we got that huge push up on, well, kind of just after CPI came out. Now, in terms of next support after this, obviously we got the bottom of that structure here, lining up quite nicely with those moving averages. The next level is kind of coming back down into structure, which is over here where we had a little bit of resistance and we broke up and out. So roughly about 18.5. Beneath that, I mean, you can look at it a few ways really. So you can either have that trend line there, okay, which, I mean, if we come down and we test it and we hold that level, we're still looking quite bullish in terms of kind of reaccumulation. Come down here, hold, and then maybe start shooting back up, okay. But that's if we're able to hold it. So we'll see how it kind of holds up if it does come down that low. Right, so that's obviously on the daily. So you got a few levels in terms of looking for next support. Now, realistically, guys, if we do breach this kind of range or this kind of area, the top of this range, and the daily candle closes above this point, then I mean this is going to start looking quite bullish. And yeah, you'd probably be looking somewhere between 28 to probably 30k Bitcoin. Now, I mean, it's at decent resistance here, okay. Now, next week we do get PCE prices, amongst other data as well, which might move the market a little bit, but I mean, the labour market is looking very, very strong. Okay, now, I mean, even listening to the news, they're starting to have talks about the Fed having to come in at 0.5, increase on the interest rate due to how strong the labour market or the labour market reports are coming in. So, if that's the case, then yeah, you can expect a huge, huge dump. So the way that the risk on assets and the dollar index are moving together now is a little bit different to how they normally move. I mean, the Nasdaq, the S&P, the Nasdaq was down nearly 2.5% yesterday. S&P's down was down 1.5. I mean, for the day today, I mean the 0.6, 0.4. Yeah, things are starting to slow down, starting to make a turnaround. Okay. As you can see, the dollar index has kind of formed a little bit of a bottom here. So we formed a little bit of a bottom. So we tapped into this liquidity back here on this order block. We saw a very, very nice push. Okay. Nowhere in this whole sort of downturn here have we had a reaction like this. This is the largest reaction in terms of the bulls that we've had so far. So yeah, I mean, the dollar index is setting some sort of a bottom here. I mean, CPI was its chance to really start to push it back down. It did attempt to push it back down into structure twice. Failed to actually set this new support level here, which is actually really nice support to set. Previous resistance into new support, as you can see here. And we held, and now we're pushing up. Now we're finding a little bit of resistance, obviously, towards this 100 moving average, which we did speak about in yesterday's live trading sessions. So seeing a little bit of weakness here. Obviously, today is the last day, so we'll see how things kind of develop. Now, the main thing to take is how it's open over last night. There is a gap that it needs to fill up, which I mean is probably going to do that in the next hour or so. Once it fills up, then I mean if it starts to spike back up, then yeah, things are looking like they're going to be a lot more bullish in terms of the dollar's value, and you're probably going to see a bit of a sell-off or continuation back down in prices on Bitcoin and the altcoin market in general. Now, another point that we touched on in yesterday's update was Bitcoin dominance. All right, so you will see us touching on Bitcoin dominance a few times, because it does come into dynamics in terms of kind of trade in crypto. So when Bitcoin was in its range, okay, so this larger range, I'll touch just to clarify, just over here. So you see this kind of this range here and this wider range here. You saw us kind of talking about, okay, touching on Bitcoin dominance. What's Bitcoin dominance doing? At the time, Bitcoin dominance was falling, okay? And whilst Bitcoin dominance is falling, okay, the altcoin market is clearly gaining some capitalization, right? And whilst Bitcoin is ranging, okay, you will see the altcoins absolutely flying through the roof. Okay, so which was the case. Whenever you have these dynamics, it always happens. So now it's a switch up. Okay, so Bitcoin's obviously had a very, very nice pump up, and Bitcoin dominance is following suit here. Okay, and still a little bit more room for things to push up. So that's why, even though Bitcoin made a huge push up yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? The altcoins, you weren't really seeing the altcoins going up by double digits. They were still relatively kind of slowing down. They weren't really absolutely flying through the roof. So the market is slowing down, and you're starting to see signs of that happening. So something to bear in mind. Obviously, Bitcoin dominance is now in a range, and we're pushing towards the top. So yeah, the altcoin market is now going to start to slow down. You're going to start seeing, whenever Bitcoin makes a move down, you're going to see these altcoins really start to move back down now. So yeah, you're starting to see this sort of switch up in sentiment slowly. So just bear that in mind when you're looking for trades, especially after kind of yesterday's or last night's kind of pullback. I mean, you can even see on the weekly. I mean, look at what you're getting on the weekly. Came up perfectly to the top of that range. Tested these moving averages. Tested the 200, the 50. The 50 and the 200 are crossing over with each other. Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 more days left on this green candle, or this green volume bar, and it's not looking too healthy. I mean, you're starting to see a little bit more sell side creeping in here, not too much buy side, especially on this last move up. Nice wick on the top, nice reaction. So we'll see how things kind of play out, but even on this little bit of a push back up, very, very, very weak buy side, very weak buy side. So it's more than likely to start to creep downwards again. So keep an eye on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, see what sort of buy side is coming back up or coming back in, to see whether we're going to actually push back up or we're going to maybe build up on some sort of bear flag here on the lower time frame, and break down, start to really chase those lower targets. That's what things are looking like right now. I mean, look at the buys trying to push this up, failed to push up, failed to come in. So, yeah, we're expecting things to start to come down. Whether they really, really sell off, who knows? But, yeah. I mean, also, if you look at from a fundamental basis, you've got the Fed that's sticking to its guns, and they have been sticking to this for months now, whilst the markets are absolutely shredding through higher prices. Okay, the Nasdaq up a huge amount, the S&P up, Bitcoin up. When the Fed is saying, right, we're keeping rates for higher for longer, we might need to even extend that rate cycle, and the markets are like, no, we're not seeing this. Obviously, weaker CPI, and yeah, obviously letting these risk-on assets rip. So there's got to be a point where the markets are going to have to tip, or the Fed's going to have to tip. Okay, and by the looks of it, I mean, look at the labor market figures that we've been getting. NFP came in crazy high. Non-farm payroll. So we got jobless claims, all starting to come in really hot. CPI didn't even come down by a great deal, 0.1% on CPI, I think it was like 0.3 decline on core. Yeah, it literally wouldn't surprise me if maybe CPI came in either the exact same as previous or slightly higher on the next CPI reading. Which would definitely melt down the markets without a doubt, and that again, it pushes the Fed to maybe even increase by 0.5%. And I mean, the markets have clearly not priced that in. But yeah, okay. TA, weak buy side, setting up some structure. It does look like we're going to break down lower, so bear that in mind. Touched on Bitcoin dominance. Obviously, total crypto market cap is now above that 1 trillion mark, so it's kind of tweeting up and below. Okay, it is a psychological kind of level. So it could be the case that we start to dip back beneath it. So we'll see how things kind of play out on there. Now Nasdaq, as you can see, I mean, is pushing down back into structure. It's kind of building up on this range a little bit, but yeah, likely to come back down, at least test this previous structure that it broke out from its trend line. So we'll see how things kind of play out here. But yeah, building on somewhat of a top. So yeah, we'll see how things form. But if we push straight back into structure, obviously this is kind of your key level of support. If we break through it and start closing beneath it, then yeah, the markets, I mean, the risk on asset markets are starting to turn around in terms of sentiment, right? Yeah, S&P the same, just a little bit of a tighter price action. Does look like a little bit of a top here, testing for support here. Obviously, we got our previous kind of structure that it broke out from, so we'll see how things kind of hold up on here. But I mean, starting to see a bit of sell side coming in, that's for sure. Morning, how you doing over UK, my man? Yeah, so we'll see how things kind of play out here. But yeah, this was a very quick move up, enticing some of them bulls in, that's for sure. Guarantee a whole load of retail got into that move, thinking that it's going to explode. Obviously, we went past this previous high, and I bet a few got liquidated just on this move back down here. That zone I mean, if you go back and watch our updates, we've had this zone kind of mapped out for a while. It is also, I think, the 0.5 extension. I'm not sure if I pulled it from here. See if I pulled it from here. From here. Yeah, 0.5. So, yeah, it's a strong level. It's a very strong level to be touching and testing. We're seeing a nice reaction. Sellers are starting to come in at that point. So, yeah, I mean, we've got a relatively clear week. terms of next week. Let me just double check. I do know we got some labour market data. We've got some PCE prices coming in. And just remember March. I mean, the ECB has also said expect a 0.5 increase already in March. They're not even waiting for data. They're already coming in saying, right, just be expecting it. So yeah. So we get a load of European data, PMIs. Oh yeah, US GDP, corporate profits, PCE, jobless claims, Chicago Feds, and we get EU CPI. Yeah, next week's a big week. Yeah, and obviously we get a whole load of a home sector or housing sector data from the US as well, which again is coming into light, especially after the last Fed meeting where Jerome Powell said that that's an area that is holding up and is causing inflationary issues. So yeah, again, there's going to be a tipping point, that's for sure, and things are going to sell off heavily. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the top, yeah, and we just start to build up some structure and we start to really dump it. But again, as mentioned, I mean, if we breach this, we close above on the daily candle, above this level here. This is your key level here. If we break, close above it, then yeah, be expecting 28, 30, maybe even 32. This is kind of your level where there's quite a lot of volume. Okay, there's a lot of volume to be tapped into here. So yeah, you can expect it to go within somewhere from this top or bottom. So 32-ish, 28-ish, anywhere between there. But yeah, you're going to have to see a whole load of volume come in on you, whole load of buy side. Yes, guy, how you doing? Another day, another dollar. Let's get it. Um, yeah, let's see. Markets are looking like they're a little bit. They're going to make another leg lower. Just not seeing any buy side. Seeing a little bit more sell side coming in on these tests of resistance just here. So it wouldn't surprise me if we at least make another push down here. If not, a bit lower. So yeah, let's have a little look. Okay, so anyway, that's crypto done. Let's touch on the other markets. Okay, just give me 2 seconds. Oh, Superpower Squad, yeah. Okay, what's the ticker? Such a strange name. Okay, it's Squad. All right, so yeah, Superpower Squad. No, Don't have a clue what this is, but let's have a little look. I mean, there isn't a great deal of structure to go off, but it has hit basically rock bottom. Um, yeah, nice spike down. Probably going to look like we're going to make a move up slightly. Building on a little bit of a bottom here. This is your resistance for now, and then we kind of get a little bit more between here. Stuff like this, I mean, seeing a bit of structure, might push up here, and then build up some more structure. Yeah, I'll just relax on this one. If it pushes up here, then just wait for a little bit more structure, just set in a new bottom. And then enter somewhere around this region for a much larger breakout. But for now, I mean, it can go either way, really. I mean, it can definitely come down and break through that, come all the way down to this level or even this level here. So there isn't, I mean, you haven't got much structure to go off, to be honest. You're not really seeing too much of a reaction from buyers on this bottom either. So, oh, there you go. Boom. There it goes. Straight. That was quick. Yep, it's gone. Yeah, I mean, obviously, clearly some buyers came in on that one. If it manages to actually push past this previous structure here, starts to ramp up, then yeah, stuff like that. I don't really like to trade too much. Right. What's happening here? Yeah, we just needed to fill in that gap, and then we're good to go. Right. So I mean, oil's made a dive, setting up some structure. We're at this order block here. Um, yeah, just in a much wider range, as you can see. Yeah. See whether we can get a little bit of a turnaround towards the end of today on this one. I mean, it's made a nice dive. Currently at this level of support here. We've got a couple more levels to come down into. But yeah, this has got to make a little bit of a pullback at some point. Still seeing some sell side pressure, especially on the 15. I mean, you're still seeing it coming in here. Little bit of buy side, not too much, but so there's a little bit. We should be looking at a little bit more downside here, and then hopefully we can get a nice reaction from the buyers and see a bit of a pullback. So yeah. Now, natural gas has made an absolute dive to the downside, big time. Broke through trend line, and continues to come down. I think something I've read something like some was it? Let me have a little look. Yeah, 18-month low. That's what I read, which is crazy, and still looking very, very weak. I mean, look at that. It's coming up to some very nice support. Yeah. What else was going to touch on? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to look at FX. Pulled in some nice trades on FX yesterday, in all fairness. Yeah, this was one of them. US dollar, Canadian dollar, nice push up. We got out here, but obviously it came up, tested that trend line quite nicely. As you can see, might have a decent short, maybe even to come down back into the structure here. BNB, yeah, I'll check BNB for you, no problem. Yeah, does look like we're going to come back down, test that structure there. What days are we getting today? Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Economic calendar. Da, 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 Okay, not too much today, to be fair. Oh, yeah. Um, so we got a little bit of data out today. So we got UK retail sales that came out. Let me just double check. Okay. French CPI went up. Yeah, we're pretty clear for the rest of the day today. We've just got earnings to come out. It's a strong level of support, yeah. Might have a little bit of a long on, yeah. This is a nice reaction as well from this structure, yeah. It's a decent reaction here. We'll see. BNB. Okay, let's have a little look at BNB. Okay. I mean, this is your resistance, and I mean, the structure isn't. Very weak volume on that push up. So, again, I mean, the structure across the board is signaling a continuation back down. This still needs to fill in. I mean, you're not really getting too much of a reaction from crypto as a whole. Still holding on to these kind of resistance levels. Still, I mean, very little balls. Starting to see a little bit here, but I mean, some people are looking for getting sell side. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Seeing a whole load more sell side coming in than buyers. Yeah, probably play something like that. Maybe even if you wanted to keep it slightly tighter. That's what I'm seeing anyway. 288. I mean, 288 is that would be a hell of a sell side to 288. Sweet. I'm in on short BNB. Yeah, I mean, by the looks of it, it is looking like we're going to make that pullback. Or sorry, that continuation down. As things stand right now, I mean, look at there's a whole load more sell side on Bitcoin. We're kind of holding. It's having its opportunities to make that move. The only thing, I mean, we're not far off from filling in this gap here. And by the looks of it, it could be quite a quick reaction. Tap, fill the gap, and then start moving back up. So, I mean, Bitcoin, yeah, we'll see. You still do have a chance that it could blow through here, so yeah, just very weak. Even on this candle here, where you got that spike in buy side. I mean, look, it's predominantly all sell side, so you might see a nice sell off soon. Euro USD, yeah, I can go back on Euro USD. Let's go back on it. So yeah, I mean, just waiting for a little bit of structure here, really. Tested that 100, coming back down. I mean, sellers are starting to creep in a little bit. You want that to fill in. Yeah. See how it holds onto here. 382 is around that level as well. So hopefully we can kind of come down, hold, build some structure, and maybe move back up. Just have a little look on here. Yeah, I mean, definitely need to be careful on this one. Could very, very, very easily move down. No problem, Nova. Take care, mate. Have a lovely day. Right, so yeah, New York Open. Well, we're 2 minutes into it. So let's see if we can get some movement. What's happening with the dollar? Okay, okay, okay. Spies open now, lower. Starting to see some buyers now. Yeah, this is going to come down a bit. Let's see how it reacts. This will be a nice level. Just here. Seeing some buyers. Yeah, it's broken out. Still needs to come and fill in this gap here. Da, da, da. Da, da, mm, mm, mm. Alright, beautiful. What can we get here now? Mm. Moon. Quite a lot of very nice trades, yeah. Seen some buyers coming in, that's for sure. Looking weak, and then they came in hot. We're at resistance, so we'll see how things kind of play out here. See whether we can get some sellers. See if we can hold this structure. Mm-hmm. Let's have a look. I swear. Fuck. Missed out on that short on SPY as well. So I'm hoping to open a position. It's looking nice to go short. What we got here? We're holding this level here. May have a nice long position here. Holding. Right, we're going to go long on Australian dollar, Japanese yen. See if we can get anything on here. It's looking like we're holding on to that level of support quite nicely. So, yeah, let's see if we can get something. Oh, oh. I just need to... see if it can hold. If not, we'll have to get out. this. Holding relatively well, so let's see if we can get a nice push breaking past these levels of resistance. Ideally, we can potentially make that break, push towards 92.4. Be a nice trade. Bitcoin's making a turnaround. All of that huge move back up, all being cancelled out rapidly. Look at it go. Goodbye. Look at that. It was nice knowing you, Bitcoin. Nice knowing you. The only thing is this gap still needs to be filled in. So, I mean, yes, it is coming back down, but it could very, very well quickly shoot back up if the dollar decides to go and fill in that gap. Mm-hmm. Mm. This continues to come down. Come on. Right, we're gonna get out on this one. We're gonna go in short. It's not pushing back up. Ba-da-ba. Right, so we got in short instead. Okay, it's failed to push back up, so we're going for that break. Let's go. Let's go for it. See if we can get it. 1, 2. More than likely to come down here. Down, down, down we go. By the way, guys, we're in short on Bitcoin. So anyone that's watching this, we already opened a short last night. So we're expecting things to come down. Come on. Make that move. Starting to turn around. There's going to be a little bit of volatility here. This is going to push back up, build up on some structure. This is going to come down by the looks of it. Hopefully come and fill that gap. As soon as that gap is filled up, we're all clear after that. It just needs to come down and fill it. Yeah, here we go. Oil looks like it's going to go for it. I just gotta be patient here. Wait for a little bit of structure to form up. Let's see. 92.2. Here we go, going to fill up that gap, ideally. Right. Okay. Yeah. You gotta just let it play out. Yeah. More than likely to get some movement. Or some larger movement towards the European close about 4:30 UK time. For now, I mean, as you can clearly see, we're just pulling back, building up on some structure. Okay, so yeah, we just gotta wait. Next, we'll play to the next session. Obviously, European close, New York crossover. That's more than likely where we're going to get some sort of movement. So yeah, just play patiently. See, just keep watch of it. See what's happening. But yeah, that's more than likely the time to kind of keep your eye on things. But yeah, guys, for everyone that joined us today, thank you very much for joining. Yeah, we'll touch base later on this evening. We'll get some updates out for you all just after this. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. If I don't see you before, enjoy the rest of enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Thank you. Cheers.